Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 27, game 2 of the Mexico Diamondbacks versus Padres. And man, oh man, fortunately enough, I didn't see this game and stuff, but when I looked at the score, I cannot believe enough of we actually split this game with the Padres and stuff. And then just looking back of enough, Snake Alive, having a comeback, it's crazy. There's a lot of scores and a lot of home runs, so let's just get into it. Lineup of today, Kento Marte playing DH. Jose Fernandez playing shortstop, and Tim Towel playing first base and stuff. And then fortunately, James McCain also came in as catcher because of Adrian Del Casio got out because he got injured while he was catching and stuff. So he got out at the top of the third and stuff. Looking at the numbers on the line and stuff, basically enough. Everybody got a base hit. Obviously, I get about a DC basically got out very early and stuff, so that's why he's 0 for 1 and stuff. The only person did not go on base is basically James McCain. He went 0 for 4 and stuff, but fortunately enough, it is kind of crazy because like when I was doing the notes and stuff and looking at the stats, I was like seeing enough of is everybody getting on base hit because like we didn't really had a really good beginning of the game and stuff, but we got heated at the end, and Corbin Carroll was like the only one besides of Castro was not getting on base and stuff. And then he finally got on base, getting a single, and then James McCain was the last hitter and stuff. And if he was getting a base hit, then that means enough of everybody got on base and stuff. To me, enough that's still crazy. Just like pretty much everybody is hitting well. Putting contact, put the ball in, get some fair plays and stuff. Home runs is huge. Walk is also huge enough. That's why enough of like Nolan Arenado is 2 for 3 and stuff. Just all these typical things you see in a way. So it does change the game in a huge way. Just get on base. I think that's the most biggest thing and stuff. And today we just attacked at the very end of the game and stuff. So this was a huge win for the Diamondbacks and stuff. And love seeing the bats alive and stuff. At any inning, I don't care. If we can get it back, come back and get this win and stuff, that's all that matters and stuff. And unfortunately enough, for all of them to get on base is huge and stuff. Love to see it. Pitching wise of enough, Ryan Nelson starting off. He went 5 innings, gave 7 hits, struck out 4, walked 2, gave up 6 runs. I would definitely say he didn't really do the most best of him and stuff. Again, last time he got a little get knocked a little bit and stuff here and there and stuff. So I think this is better than before and stuff. I think he's just getting a little wild up into there and stuff. Just get back into it and stuff. And hopefully enough, he'll do better and better and better each time enough if he'll go out there and stuff. So it's good to see him just kind of dial it down a little bit and stuff and not giving too much of runs. I get like 6 runs, like that's not that good and stuff, but fortunately enough it's not then like 6 in 1 inning and stuff. There's just bits here and there and stuff, so that's a big progress and stuff. Michael King pitching the game for the Padres. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, struck out 8, walked once, and gave up 2 runs and stuff. I expected this. Now Michael Keane is honestly a really good pitcher and stuff. Like, I'm very scared of these Padres because they're a really good team and stuff. And I'm surprised enough of he's not the, like the starting pitcher or whatever and stuff. But he's one of the good pitchers on this team and stuff. And I think we did okay off of him. I think he did better than Ryan Nelson and stuff, but we did a little bit on him and stuff. So that's that. Bullpen for the Diamondbacks: Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Thompson, Juan Morello, and Jonathan Liskia at the very end and stuff. Basically showing enough in the bullpen. Kevin Ginkel is probably the only one gave up one run and stuff. The rest not giving any runs. So for enough of the Diamondbacks to literally have a comeback and stuff, to basically just let the Padres with 7 runs and stuff, for us to literally come back again, this is huge. You gotta understand that of enough. The game is not over till it's over. And so I think that's the most biggest thing right there of enough of, doesn't matter enough of what's the score. The one that matter is to get the out. Your job is get out. Strikeouts, outs, line out, fly out, anytime enough. Do not get the person on base. Do not walk the runner or anything and stuff. Don't make error in anything and stuff. Your goal as a pitcher is get the batter out and get the runner out, get anyone out, get outs. That's what it would matter enough. It don't get if you get a single hit off of you, who cares? Okay, let's get a double play. Let's strike out the next batter in a way and stuff. Let's get out this inning and do not give any runs away. Like, that's the most biggest thing, to not to give them any runs. And let's get our offense back in the road, and let's start hitting off their pitchers instead. So I think those are most biggest time enough to improvement to that and stuff. I know the improvement I'm starting talking about right now, and I should talk about it later and stuff, but just gotta see here and there and stuff. So I think that's just the most biggest thing just to look at and stuff. And bullpen is doing good. Scoring, so there's a lot. I didn't really talk about all of them and stuff, but I think these are the hugest scores in this game. There's a lot of home runs, so just expect it enough. And I was more surprised enough of how many home runs there is, but there's a lot. So Manny Machado with a 2 home run to make it 3-0, top of the third. He hit another home run. This time it's a 3 home run, making it 6-0, top of the fifth. Jose Fernandez hit a solo home run to 1-6, bottom of the fifth. Luis Campuzano hit a solo home run, make it 7-1, top of the sixth. Vargas hitting a solar home run to make it 2-7, bottom of the sixth, and this will be his 20-for-20 hitting streak in 23 games consistent and stuff. The guy is just keep hitting and stuff, and he still hit in this game more often and stuff. Like, if I look up in a way, I thinking he went 2-for-4 and stuff. No, he went 3-for-5. I look at Louis Guerrero Jr. Yeah, so 3-5. That's insane. That's insane. Just get on base is huge, and that's what exactly he did here and stuff. And just keep that streak alive. It's still going and stuff. It's just absolutely insane. I was looking at the score when I was at the dinner where I was celebrating my mom's birthday. Her birthday was before and stuff on the 21st, but today we just celebrating because everybody was busy, and so now this is the time the family came together and stuff and celebrate and stuff. And I was like trying to look at it and like, okay, let me see the Diamondbacks. They won 12-7 and stuff. And then fortunately enough, I'm just like, did Vargas keep going his streak? And when I was seeing enough, like, okay, he's 0 for 2 right now. It's like, okay. And then after that, I saw him hit a home run. It's just like, there's no way this guy went for 20 for 20. This is insane what I'm seeing. Like, history is making by itself just from himself. He is the hot hitting machine right now for the Diamondbacks and stuff. It's absolutely insane what we're seeing and stuff, and we're seeing live and stuff, and I'm loving it every single time and stuff. Tim Tawa, you never expected this. Grand slam. 6-7, bottom of the 7. We're trying to get a comeback, baby. Let's go. And it's my boy Purple Hair. Let's go. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. with a 2 RBI double to take the lead. 8-7, bottom of the 6. In the 7th inning, we score 6 runs in 1 inning. How insane enough to get a comeback of enough. And it starts with a grand slam and with a 2 RBI double from Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Like, let's go, D-back. Let's go. Snake's alive. And fortunately now, let's top it off. Let's go. Vargas hitting a 3 RBI triple. Just enough of 3 RBIs. No, it's number 3, my lord. Triple to make it 11-7, bottom of the 8th. Let's go. Nothing better than a double. Triple. Nothing better than nothing, man. Final score is 12-7. I probably spoiled it already, hitting the scoring and stuff. Talking about Vargas' solo home run and stuff. Their record is 15-12. Love to see it. There's a word to it, and so I'm trying to figure it out enough. A split. It's called a split. We split the game with the Padres. We lost one, we won one, and stuff. And also, I thought this was a really cool thing enough of, surprising enough of hearing about the Diamondbacks having the home advantage at the Mexico City, stadium and stuff. Fortunately enough for them to wear their City Connect jerseys in game 1 enough. So I was more enough surprised enough the Padres did the same thing for today and stuff, but they were not home advantage. So I thought that was kind of like a very interesting, like, wait a second, why would we wear our City Connect jersey here when we're not at Chase Field and stuff? And I guess if the Padres going to do the same thing, I think that's just a like a fun thing they're trying to do and stuff. And I agree with that. And especially enough, those Padres City Connect jerseys are really cool as well. Especially enough, I like the 90s Padres color with the navy blue and the orange and stuff. Like, those are typical, like, iconic 90s Padres at the time. I just really like the colors. I like the logo at the back then and stuff. And stuff. So I just like that type of look of the Padres and stuff. I don't like the Padres look at this time, gold and brown. Yeah, they said the yellow mustard. Yeah, disgusting, by the way, and stuff. Their whole organization is disgusting. But I also have their City Connect hat as well and stuff because it is clean. Love it and stuff, but love to see my Diamondbacks beat them. That's what it is. And stuff. Progress. Again, I just I would definitely say just like, let's keep it going. That's what we need. Progress to have a consistent game and stuff. Let's battle back into it. I think the most biggest thing enough of thinking they went hack in this game because they don't want to get swept and stuff. And this was huge because fortunately enough we were losing 0-7 and stuff, and then having a comeback and stuff, 7-1, whatever the score was and stuff. But it's huge to have a comeback and stuff. They probably had we had a weird 7 inning. And then they had a weird 7 inning as well, and then the eighth inning as well. Enough we kind of took more advantage to get more runs and stuff. That's what we got to do as if we're on the offense side and stuff. It's bad enough of Adrian Del Castro is now out and stuff, so both of our catchers are out and stuff. So hopefully enough, James McCain is still healthy. Like I do like James McCain in a huge way and stuff, but it's tough enough to lose some injuries and stuff. We lost basically 3 players in these 2 games in Mexico. That's not good and stuff. So hopefully Marino actually comes back before enough of time of James McCain will get injured, and so we don't want that. We don't want James McCain to get injured. It's just I want him healthy. If he does, say enough of Gabe Moreno comes back and then James McCain got injured and stuff, it's good enough of okay, we got another backup catcher we need and stuff. And who knows, we might put a prospect in the game before, or somebody has to play catcher. Honestly enough, I don't know who will play catcher. I don't know, Jose Fernandez. Carlos Santana used to be catcher for the DR team back then in 2010 or something like that. Something like that. I don't know, 2013. It's the year they won DR won the World Baseball Classic. I think it's 2013. I have no idea. I just knew he was a catcher at that time and stuff, and I never knew that from Carlos Santana. So that's something and stuff. Pitching wise, again, love the bullpen. I'm not gonna go crazy on the starting pitchers at this time and stuff. I'm thinking Nolan Ryan. Not Nolan Ryan. I'm sorry, Ryan Nelson. Did his best. I thinking I could give him a pass on it and stuff. It's not the best of him and stuff, but it's better than before what he did before and stuff. So we love to see the progress more and more and stuff. And that's pretty much of that. Our MVP. You know who's our MVP? I want to hear you guys to guess. Seriously, guess, please. Who is the MVP today? Because if so, this person is going to win their 3 MVP on this podcast. There's the hint. The hint is 3. Because he went 3 for 5. He hit a 3 RBI triple in 23 consecutive games on his 20 for 20 hitting streak. Yeah, that's right. Vargas is going to be our MVP today. That guy is on a hot streak. And he's just going to keep going. Because I think that's what he's wanting for and stuff. Hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hit. I don't care who's on the play. I'm going to hit. I'm putting this hitting streak out there. I don't care how far it is to go. It's going to go far till it goes till the end. And fortunately enough, I don't want that to end and stuff. I want him to keep going how far it's going to go. And I'm thinking he wants that too. So, we'll see. Let's play the fun game. Let's see what's going to happen. Fun game, exciting. Fortunately enough, I didn't see this live and stuff because, again, I was celebrating my mom's birthday. Saw her Bell concert. They had a Disney event type of situation. They did a bunch of Disney songs and stuff. And then, especially enough, both of my niece were also dressed up as princess. My older niece was dressed up as Belle, from Beauty and the Beast, and then my younger niece was dressed up as Cinderella and stuff, and then my nephew was dressed up as like a pirate and stuff. And I honestly enough, I don't know if this is from like Pirates Caribbean in a way, or it could be like one of the pirates from like Peter Pan from like what's his name, Captain Hook, crew people and stuff. Because honestly enough, they're pirates too, and it's Disney. So again, I have no idea. It's just he had like a very, like black and white stripe like shirt or something and stuff, and then he also had like some type of like whoops and then he had like a red like thing over or something. I don't know, to be honest enough. He just dressed up as a pirate. I just have a feeling that's one of the kinds enough. I don't know, like, Pirates Caribbean, it seems like enough. They're very merry, like, I mean, very modern, like, movies in the, the very, like, early, like, 2010 movies and stuff. But, again, I have no idea and stuff. Like, they are Disney as well, and they did a Pirates Caribbean theme song of When the Bells and stuff. But, again, I just don't know enough of it's from Pirates Caribbean or it's from Captain Hook, from Peter Pan or whatever and stuff. I would assumed enough it'd be Peter Pan because that would be more childish than like Pirates Caribbean and stuff. Like, again, like my nephew is only like 2 years old. Like I would not know enough. He wouldn't actually know about Captain no, Pirates Caribbean. Like Jack Sparrow, whatever and stuff. I would prefer enough to be Peter Pan, Captain Hook people, pirate stuff, I don't know. That's just what it is and stuff. So, yeah, fortunately enough, I had fun with my family and stuff, but this was a really good game, and hopefully we'll see more and stuff. Honestly enough, I don't know who we're playing next. I think we're playing the Cubs. Let me look. No, we're playing the Brewers. Interesting. Okay. So the Brewers. Something is so weird enough with the Brewers. When I saw the Brewers were doing good because of I keep on all the stats as well on their team as well. They were hot in the beginning and stuff, and now they're not doing so well. I think they're also in last place in their division in the National Central. So it's weird. Unfortunately enough, they're a really good team and stuff with really good players, but I would definitely say for the Brewers, they're hot and cold. So hopefully enough we will give a good advantage on them and stuff. Hopefully. I don't know. Just depends enough of the Diamondbacks can show up in those games and stuff. So that's pretty much of it. Hope you guys like this episode of Put Me in Coach. Hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.